Okay. Um. Hi everyone. So I have no viewers, so there's not any point of talking right now. And once we have a viewer, I will start this discussion about America's Weekly shooting this week. And yeah, basically how this one really didn't sit well with me. Not that any do, but rather this one was much worse than the others. Anyway. So what do we have? Do we have any views? No, we don't. So, that might just maybe due to, my stream being extremely slow and how absolutely nothing loads on my streams because my computer is about the worst in history of computers. Okay, sorry about that. Oh my god. Yeah, so I'm just going to start talking. So basically, on whatever day this is, I don't ever know the date. You might see that I checked the date on many of my videos, but it is Tuesday, May 24th, 2022 today. And today, I don't know how to pronounce the name of the town, but there's a town in Texas, Uvadale or something such, along those lines. There was a shooting in a elementary school, and initially there were only 2 reported dead, and I remember hearing that and being really thankful that there were not more that there were not more victims of this violence. I was really thankful of that. And then later on, I go on, and there are 15 victims, and it was really shocking, first of all, and it was extremely saddening to me, because I thought that this wouldn't be a major shooting, and today it will go down in history, definitely, as Sandy Hook has, as Las Vegas has. It will go down as one of these huge shootings because 14 were killed. Sorry, 15. 14 little kids and one teacher, and I mean, so we still have no viewers. That is so sad. Okay, this is so slow. So, I don't know if we have any viewers, but because I didn't schedule a live stream, I instead simply just did a live stream. Suddenly I just because this live stream, you might think that it would be about the primary tonight, and that it's not true. I am not doing that, and yeah, I don't know, but hopefully we get some viewers. But yeah, so I just did this suddenly because, it was supposed to be about the primary, but I did not want to do the primary because this really isn't much of a competition to me. And so I instead just did this. So we have a viewer, thank God. So I will start my conversation about today's weekly shooting. So my thing is that these shootings could not have and a lot of you are going to disagree with me, and this is just my personal opinion. I never talk about my personal opinion on my channel unless it's a live stream and I accidentally blurt out something. But today I'm going to talk about my personal opinion because this really is a huge issue. I mean, it's election forecast says hi, hello. So it really does break my heart what happened today because, see, I live in Connecticut and the Sandy Hook shooting still has such a huge place in Connecticut. Like we are so in remembrance of that shooting, and it is everywhere in Connecticut. We see memorials. How many kids were killed? 21? That's insane. There are memorials in my town of it. There are memorials everywhere in my state, in the state of Connecticut. And that was seen as one of the worst. And this is just like that again. We saw the effects of this. I just watched a speech by Chris Murphy, my U.S. Senator, and it was really so sad. I will play it later, but he was saying how this community in Sandy Hook is destroyed by the shooting and how they had to, the students in that, when they all went back to school, they had to learn, quote, safe words. And you'd say it if you were having flashbacks of the shooting, of trying to get out of that school when it was happening. And it completely destroyed the community. It destroyed the lives of those people, first of all, and it really destroyed that entire community and that entire school. And the thing is, this is happening. This just happened again to this town in Texas. This just happened once again. Another town, another community has been destroyed by one singular person. And that really is very sickening. And it's terrible, to say the least, what one person can do. Really. I mean, it really is insane and unbelievable what they can do. And, I mean, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of things to say. And, something else that disturbs me about these is how often they're becoming. I mean, you've heard it a million times, they were so uncommon before the year 2000. They would never happen before the year 2000, mass shootings. And yeah, that's true. And that, that's completely true. But more and more recently, they have become more and more common. I mean, if we remember, shootings like Sandy Hook in 2012 or 2013, 2012, they were a national tragedy. They were everywhere. That's what everyone would talk about for a year. They were everything. And they're still huge news today. But they are so common where it's like, it's not surprising at all that another one has just occurred. It is not surprising at all. And when it gets to be not surprising, that's when you know something wrong is up. It should not be like that. It should not be like that at all. So, I mean, just last week, we had a shooting in Buffalo. 1 week ago. And another one just happened. how common are they going to become, and how many more times does it have to happen before we do something about it? How many more times does it have to happen? That is a great question, and I have no idea what the answer is, and I think it's going to be a while. Nothing happened after Buffalo, nothing happened after Sandy Hook, except in my state of Connecticut, and thank God for it. So I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about that stuff. I don't have to be scared to go to school due to this issue. And I mean, and I am now going to bring up Chris Murphy's speech because it really kind of demonstrates my what I think about this. And I mean, share screen. Okay. Can you guys see that? Whoops. Okay, so I'm about to play this video here.
14 kids dead in an elementary school in Texas right now. What are we doing? What are we doing? Just days after a shooter walked into a grocery store to gun down African American patrons, we have another Sandy Hook on our hands. What are we doing? There have been more mass shootings than days in the year. Our kids are living in fear every single time they set foot in a classroom because they think they're going to be next. What are we doing? Why do you spend all this time running for the United States Senate? Why do you go through all the hassle of getting this job, of putting yourself in a position of authority, if your answer is that as this slaughter increases, as our kids run for their lives, we do nothing? What are we doing? Why are you here? If not to solve a problem as existential as this. This isn't inevitable. These kids weren't unlucky. It only happens in this country. Nowhere else. Nowhere else do little kids go to school thinking that they might be shot that day. Nowhere else do parents have to talk to their kids, as I have had to do, about why they got locked into a bathroom and told to be quiet for 5 minutes just in case a bad man entered that building. Nowhere else does that happen except here in the United States of America, and it is a choice. It is our choice to let it continue. What are we doing? In Sandy Hook Elementary School, after those kids came back into those classrooms, they had to adopt a practice in which there would be a safe word that the kids would say if they started to get thoughts in their brain about what they saw that day. If they started to get nightmares during the day, reliving stepping over their classmates' bodies as they tried to flee the school. In one classroom, that word was monkey. And over and over and over through the day, kids would stand up and yell, monkey. And a teacher or a paraprofessional would have to go over to that kid, take them out of the classroom, talk to them about what they had seen, work them through their issues. Sandy Hook will never, ever be the same. This community in Texas will never, ever be the same. Why? Why are we here? If not to try to make sure that fewer schools and fewer communities go through what Sandy Hook has gone through, what Uvalde is going through. Our heart is breaking for these families. Every ounce of love and thoughts and prayers we can send, we are sending. But I'm here on this floor to beg, to literally get down on my hands and knees and beg my colleagues. Find a path forward here. Work with us to find a way to pass laws that make this less likely. I understand my Republican colleagues will not agree to everything that I may support, but there is a common denominator that we can find. There is a place where we can achieve agreement that may not guarantee that America never ever again sees a mass shooting, that may not overnight cut in half the number of murders that happen in America. It will not solve the problem of American violence by itself, but by doing something, we at least stop sending this quiet message of endorsement to these killers whose brains are breaking, who see the highest levels of government doing nothing, shooting after shooting. What are we doing? Why are we here? What are we doing?
It's a very valid and cogent question. What are we doing to make this country as safe as it can be, to make our children as safe as they can be? Commissioner Rand?
Yeah, okay, so that was the video I wanted to share with you all. And this live stream is very short, but I also want to ask you to just have sympathy for these children who were killed. I mean, put yourself in their shoes. So say you are a very pro Second Amendment, pro gun, right? And you say, yeah, it's our freedom, yeah, protect the Second Amendment. Founding fathers gave it to us. This is our right. That's so true, right? And I'm not anti-Second Amendment. I think that there should be a right to own a gun. But just for a second, imagine yourself as a second grader in that elementary school, and you are shot and killed by this man. Now, are you going to care about, are you going to be saying, well, that guy, well, are you going to be saying, that's okay that I was just killed because it was his freedom to own a gun? It was okay that he owned that gun at age 18 because that was his right, and that is how he died. Are you going to care about that? No, you're not. You're going to care about that you just died and that you're in second grade or third grade or fourth grade or fifth grade or in kindergarten or first grade. You won't care about political purposes, is my point. You will not care about politics. You will not care about if this is an amendment. You will be thinking about how an 18-year-old just killed you at a school and how your classmates were just shot and killed. So I also want to add on to the founding fathers, creating this amendment, this right that we all have. I just want to add, and I think it's widely unrecognized, that AR-15s and AK-47s did not exist in the late 1700s in 1776, when the Bill of Rights was created. They did not exist, and people weren't messed up, and no one performed mass shootings. I think if it was like this now, then it would be a lot different. That's all I have to add. So I'm going to wrap up this live stream. No one really joined, unfortunately, besides Election Forecast. But I just want to say, put yourself in other people's shoes and pray for the families. So Election Forecast says, I think that handguns should be legal, but if you want to buy one, you need to have background checks and Kendall tests to see if you can own a gun. Yeah, my position always changes on this. Cause like at times I want to buy back all uh AR-15s and AK-47s, but then the next, that's like impossible. There's going to be so much outrage due to it, and it's really going to be hard to do that kind of stuff. So anyway, thank you for the comment, but I'm going to wrap this up and pray for the families of the victims, pray for the classmates of the victims, pray for the victims who are in bad condition, pray for everyone, and try to have a good night at least. Thank you.